And welcome to the latest episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I'm Buck. With me, I have the Professor.
Hello.
How you going, Professor?
I'm going very well.
Very well. My goodness, hang on. You haven't said anything positive, and I've asked you that question for quite a while. What's happening?
I'm hiding the pain.
You're hiding the pain. Okay, I can live with that. That's okay. That makes sense now.
The pain of being very excited there's a new season of Good Place out.
Ooh. We also have with us the DJ.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, you going, DJ?
Oh, I'm going good, Bucky. I'm going good. You know, that time of the year again with assignments and everything.
Yeah, what are we up to? Is week 11, 12, or 13?
11.
That's good. Anyway, any amazing news this week that you want to bring up before we start off the show?
Well, I thought we should say congratulations to House, who developed Untitled Goose Game. They're an Australian developer, and they've just hit the top selling list on Switch.
Awesome. We got a link for that to put into the show notes for people to go and visit and check them out?
I don't, because I only found out not too long ago, but I will get you one.
Okay. You got anything else there special for us, DJ?
So there's been some interesting news with Blizzard lately.
Such as?
What happened with the Hearthstone player that got his prize money stripped away, and two of the co-hosts of the tournament that tournament show got fired.
Okay. Haven't actually noticed that. Yeah, sounds unfortunate.
Yeah.
Was there a particular reason why? Were they cheating or colluding?
It was apparently the player was saying something along the lines of "Liberate Hong Kong."
Okay.
And so Blizzard decided to strip his award prize money and say you're banned from playing for a year.
That's a bit stupid, isn't it?
I know.
Anyway, moving on. First up this week, we have the Professor.
Ooh, good. I get to go first.
Yes.
So our first topic for the week is the Australian National Film and Sound Archive is archiving video games developed in Australia. So just recently, the archive announced that they would be collecting Australian video games for archive, as well as having the launch of the Game Masters, the exhibition. So Game Masters, the exhibition has 80 games, and it's a traveling exhibition of the history of video games. But the bit I'm most excited about is the archive.
Okay.
So the archive starts with a handful of games. So starting with The Hobbit, Hollow Knight, Florence, a VR game called Aspire 1 that isn't out yet. And I presume that they will be continuing to expand that over time.
Mm-hmm. Wonder whether they'll include an Aspie Life.
That would be nice to see. Some
recognition for good old Bradley.
Oh yeah, I hope they do.
So what other games are we? Any other games we're likely to see going in there that you can point to at the moment?
Yeah, they're including Halloween Harry, which was released under a different name as the re-release not long after it came out, or was renamed Halloween Harry. So it's quite an old one, but they're also including Shadowrun, LA Noire, Submerged, and The Hobbit, Hollow Knight, and Florence and Aspire 1 VR operative.
Okay.
Yes, DJ's just found it for me. Halloween Harry was also known as Alien Carnage.
Oh, cool. So anything extra that we can look for with it? Like you said, are they going to have a special exhibition somewhere for us where we can go and play these games and see them?
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have any plans to display the games at the moment, but this is the first step in making sure that the content is available when they do want to display it.
Okay. Yeah. We don't want it to end up like the seed vault, springing a leak and getting corridors flooded with ice before they decide to do something.
Yes, just found out that recently the Svalbard seed vault has started leaking. The most recent team to go to Svalbard had to hack their way through ice to enter the vault, including a segment of the tunnel that had flooded.
Well, let's hope that the Australian Film Archive decides to pay attention and make sure that it's all properly secure.
Well, this is the National Film Sound Archive. Do you remember what happened to the Canberra? Was it going to be the National Library? You know that dome-shaped building in Canberra?
No.
Okay, so there's a dome-shaped building in Canberra that's now part of the university.
Mhm.
But when they first built it, it was going to be a library, but it started leaking. And that's not by design, because part of the cooling for the building was a sprinkler on the roof. So someone messed up somewhere.
Yes. Good
So
old.
The closest thing
Canberra.
to a dome-shaped building would be Australian Academy of Science.
I think that might be what it is now. I'll just look it up.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they do better this time.
Yes, that's the one.
Will it just be the will it also include like games like Fruit Ninja and what's the wasn't there a Battle Royale game developed by the Australians?
Well, they haven't announced what the next step is going to be. So this is, I hope this is the first wave of games that they're preserving. But the question will be, if they continue the project, what comes next? And there's a lot of Australian games. I think they're better off going for the older ones first to make sure they get them before they're lost. But I assume they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll try and keep you posted on that. If we hear anything further, we'll let you guys know. But we'll move along now. We got printed electronics. This is something that's been floating around for quite a while. It's the concept of printed electronics that can be printed at low temperatures and on a variety of surfaces, up to and including paper or skin. And apparently the people at Duke University have devised such a method and put it to the test and actually have a video where they've printed onto, it looks like the little finger, of one of the PhD candidates that's involved, and attached a LED light to it, and then they put a charge that runs through it and it lights up. So there's a range of different applications they're looking at, such as with medical scenarios, such as so they can have special sensors in that are tracking various stages of recovery for patients undergoing surgery, through to intimate and personalized tattooing for the people who want to do body modifications to the next level and glow in the dark.
And who doesn't want to do that?
Probably ninjas. So kind of give them away as they're trying to sneak through the shadows.
Well, if everyone glows in the dark, the one guy who isn't glowing is going to be the suspicious one.
Can you imagine a game of Risk when you have that moment where it's like, all right, one that's not glowing, he's the guy that killed the colonel.
Hey?
I'm not sure you know how to play Risk.
No, sorry, not Risk. Cluedo. Can you imagine playing Cluedo and this and they go like, all right, the guy that's not glowing in the dark, okay, he's the guy that killed the colonel with a candlestick.
Yeah, okay. Interesting twist. But yeah. They've described a sticky film that's printable by a not an inkjet, but it's similar to that printing style, to being a temporary tattoo, and it can bend more than 50%, and they said over 1 million times, but I don't know whether they've actually done that or not. But yeah, so just looking at a video at the moment where they were printing the onto the circuitry onto the guy's finger, and then they light it up and he bends his finger with it on there. It looks creepy.
Do you know what's going to be even more inventive? This will take out the use of microchipping in the.
Why? Why?
You know how much it will cost, like just to inject a microchip into your body and let the people track and stuff. Like imagine with this, you don't even need to inject it. You can just, they're like, all right, we'll just tattoo it on your arm or something, and yeah, no pain.
I don't think that would make a difference for the conspiracy theorists, because this is visible. You know if you've got this on. I think the most exciting part of this could be for, like, specifically the body part, would be artistry. but
Mhm.
I'd really like to see a really easy, quick production circuit board printer, so that like anyone could produce a circuit board as a just as for experimenting, really.
Yeah.
Because circuit board production at the moment, the easiest way that I've seen to do it at home is to print it out on transparency, use a UV light to fix a photoresist coating, remove the transparency, stick it in some particularly harsh chemical that dissolves the copper, then shake it around for like 20 minutes or longer if you need to, and then you can use the circuit board, but you have to drill the holes and everything. If you could print it on paper and just use some sort of hole punch tool or or just attach your surface mount devices straight on there. Probably not paper though if you're going to be soldering. Maybe conductive glue.
Mm-hmm.
But I reckon prototyping could be the killer app for this.
Well, yes, there's that. There's as I said, like for medicine, like they're talking about using biosensors where a nurse can just go out, can walk into a workstation and print out, like punch in the specific details they need for a patient, and they can print out the sensors and so forth that can be put onto the person, and it can help track their recovery. So one problem with what DJ was saying, though, for instead of the microchipping, is this is technically only a temporary tattoo, and it requires a power source, whereas the microchip is a reactive to various microwaves or X-rays to be detected.
And a microchip can be implanted in and leave basically no mark.
Yeah.
So you might not even know if you've been microchipped, but this is visible. It's on the surface and it rubs off.
Speaking of imagine using this in tattoo. It'd be like watching your favorite superheroes and stuff when they have those awesome looking tattoos that glow in the dark.
Well, the tattoos themselves don't glow in the dark.
No, but with this
You'll
sort
have
of tech,
people walking around with silver tattoos and little LED lights that light up. So you'll have people walking around looking like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, like at art festivals like Burning Man.
Yeah. You could make it so that it's something for search and rescue people that are going into restricted, confined spaces. They can have this printed on them and be operating, and have little LED torches to provide light. So, yeah. But that's just another weird application. Anyway, moving along. The next topic we have is from DJ.
So I've got a story about Christopher Hivju, the guy who played as Tormund Giantsbane, has landed a co-production deal with two British production companies to host a series about Viking life.
Okay, but who is Mr. Giantsbane?
He's the guy that's famous for playing as Tormund. Yeah, Tormund Giantsbane in he was in Game of Thrones, basically. He was one of the wildlings.
Okay, so that explains who that is for all of us who don't care about Game of Thrones. Thank you, DJ.
He was the guy with the red beard that they made memes of, where he's looking at
Brienne.
what's the name?
Brienne.
At Brienne, the blonde female knight, and smiling at her and going, "Oh, I like a big woman." giving her the eye, and she's just like, "Yeah." So
yeah, but he's a good character in the series.
So what's this he's doing?
So he's doing a series called True Viking, and the series is basically a brutal endurance competition which contestants must hone their Viking skills and apply their mental and physical strength to endure the toughest test of their lives. The series will challenge contestants to execute authentic Viking tasks amidst the desolate wilds of the unsympathetic Norwegian fjords. There'll be for 5 weeks, the contestants will be eating, living, and surviving as Vikings, and they'll be navigating snow-capped mountains, smashing through layers of ice on frozen lakes to fish, building shelters, scavenging, and the contestants will unite in group challenges. Go ahead and learn survival tasks. So basically, it's just Survivor.
So it's
but with more axe throwing, and that makes everything better.
So it's another reality on reality TV.
Yeah.
Oh yay! Hey, you know who they should have on it? the Kardashians. After all, if there was anyone you wanted to throw an axe at, there you go.
Imagine just accidentally throwing it and you kill him and you just like, oh, that was a.
Well, if you're having an axe throwing tournament and the Kardashians are the target, you're supposed to hit the targets. You don't accidentally hit the target.
Unless if it's
The DJ does.
Unless they're trying to do what William Tell did.
Throwing axe and apple off someone's head.
Yeah.
Except he was shooting an arrow or a crossbow bolt.
The way axes go, I feel like you'd have a good chance of clocking him in the back of the head with the handle because the axe would spin.
Yep.
But what we reckon?
And I don't think anyone who threw an axe at the Kardashians and hit them would turn around and go, "Oops."
I mean,
you'd be turning. If it was me, I'd be turning around going, "Give me a high five."
Well, the Kardashians are descended from the lawyer who got OJ off, so if you did hit them with an axe, you'd be hearing from that lawyer.
I'd hire him for my defense.
You mean
Wouldn't that be actually? Yeah, that would be a conflict of interest.
Well, see, I'd hire him first.
To the defendant or the whatever the word is.
I'd go hire him first, just have him on on retainer, then do it. Then he can't be involved. He's got to disavow himself as a conflict of interest. He can't sack me as a client without exception because of the laws in America. There's got to be a reason why, and it's got to be suitable. So therefore he needs to defend me. And honestly, is anyone really going to complain about one or two of the Kardashians disappearing?
I don't know if you can count it as disappearing if you've just killed them on live TV.
But does anyone actually watch reality TV?
Oh, well, humans love drama. That's what reality TV has proven.
Yep, you're evidence of that, aren't you, DJ?
Nope, you're the evidence of that.
Rubbish.
When was the last time you watched reality TV show, you guys?
I watched one about people living in the Arctic Circle. That's more of a documentary.
Mm-hmm. DJ?
Me, I used to watch old seasons of Hell's Kitchen. That's old season, like season 4 or 5.
So you haven't been watching, what is it, Love Island or The Bachelor? I think I heard on the radio the other day they're talking about.
Oh, the ladies at work talk about that all the time. I feel like I know all the goss and I don't even watch it.
Poor you. The closest I come to reality TV is shows such as The Grand Tour, which is just a bunch of grumpy old men driving around in cars. But anyway, well, occasionally. But that's the reason why they're grumpy old men. So,
British. They've got an excuse. They can't help it.
Would you ever join this reality competition?
Depends where it fits on the scale of reality. If it's more like Bear Grylls and his, what was it called?
Man vs. Wild?
No, the reality show that he did. The Island, I think. If it's more like that, where you're actually on your own and the crew only step in if you're in trouble, then that's something I would take part in. But if it's more like, I'm trying to think of a good one. If it's more like MasterChef, I wouldn't.
Although this type of reality TV style reminds me of there used to be an old BBC show where her family had to live like ye old English people back in the day. They used to show on ABC. I forgot the name, but
yeah, what's it called? The Colony or something. There was one about immigrants to Australia. They got a couple of families from the UK, shipped them out here, and told them, "Here's your farm. Now live like they did back in the day."
I think I remember seeing something about that one. That wasn't too bad. If they're going to do it, they've got to do it properly. Like, I want them living the way that they used to live. I go exploring. If you have an argument with someone, you can settle it with axes or swords. You just got to pay the blood money. In that case, I'll be on it.
Yeah, if I can have a nice farm, some sheep, go raping and pillaging every now and then, murder a bunch of monks. Sounds all right.
It worked well for them, and they built a pretty expensive empire.
Yeah, there are Viking ruins in Hagia Sophia, which historians think they would have sailed around the Mediterranean to get there.
Actually, they had a trading empire that went as far east as Russia and down into Northern Africa and the Middle East of Arabia, etc. So because they were trading with, like, doing slave trading and whatever they captured and just trading goods. So they would travel across the north and then to get down towards Constantinople, as it would have been back in those days.
Not Istanbul.
No, it changed into Istanbul. I'm not sure what time. Would have, depending on the date. But they would have travelled down through the Black Sea and the Bosphorus, those areas. They would have had trading partners, and they would have had people that went with them trading. So, yeah, there's evidence of trading going into Cairo back in the day as well. So, yeah.
You know what's going to be good though with these types of shows? At least it will dispel all these myths that we always see in shows like Vikings and popular culture like Marvel, and saying what myth? What was with Marvel, for example, that the gods were powerful, and they would come to Earth, and when you look at the reality, it's just like, nah, that doesn't happen.
Well, can you prove they didn't?
Now, let's look at this realistically. Thor said he would get rid of the ice giants. I don't see any ice giants. Now, global warming might have something to do with that, but I'm going to go with Thor, because I don't want him messing me up.
I'm leaning the same way. Like, can you prove that their gods didn't come down and walk among them?
Is there a gigantic axe in the middle of the Norwegian fjord?
I don't know.
Possibly. The fjords are like 1 kilometer deep.
You want to swim down and have a look?
Oh, I would love to see that happen.
Hold your breath.
We're quite happy to give you some chains to help you get down quicker. We'll make you a special concrete diving suit.
Oh, Bucky, I thought you would be much more suited for this because you're more tougher than all of us.
No, Buck's fat, and fat's buoyant, so he would float. Hello, doggy.
Oh, doggy.
So yeah, Buck would float because he's fat, but you're not fat. You would sink.
Oh no, I'll still sink. I am a bit fat.
Not as fat as Buck. So Buck's buoyancy is going to be higher.
Hey, steady on. You don't have to paint me out to be the Michelin man there. I'll stick my miniature Doberman pincer onto you.
It's a very noisy miniature.
Yes.
The little dogs don't understand how small they are, so they sound like big dogs.
Anyway,
yeah, it's cool to before you go on to your next topic. I think it's cool to teach the future generations of how.
Is that dog being hurt?
To teach future generations of Viking culture. That's what I'm going to say.
Do you reckon in like 200 years or 500 years or whatever, there will be a reality TV show about Instagram influencers?
Or do you remember those old those reality TV shows where there's like you have to live like in the 80s? It's like imagine living like in the 2000s. But you got a thing called Snapchat.
No, that's 2010s. There was actually a show that did that not too long ago. I don't remember what it was called. That's it. Back in Time for Dinner. It's an Aussie show where they get a family to live through each decade for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to 2000 and they have to deal with the original iPhone and all of the other slightly dodgy tech from then.
They did similar in England, where they went through and they had to live the lifestyle.
Yeah, I think I might have seen an episode or two of that.
The original was from England, and then Australia adapted it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
More of an influence from America. We can't even come up with our own TV shows now.
At least we don't brutally murder whatever we copy.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, moving along. Yes, for those that are concerned, the squeal before was my miniature Doberman was upset that he was being ignored.
Of course.
Oh.
So, yes, he was trying to jump up to get my attention. So, moving along. What game have you been playing this week, Professor?
I've been playing Creeper World 3 Arc Eternal.
Okay.
It's the current culmination of the Creeper World series. not counting the spin-off Particle Fleet. But it's basically a highly polished form of the previous two games, but the engine is really adaptable. Like, there's a bonus level that is a top-down shooter. I've seen someone make a side-scrolling platformer in it. But mostly it just feels really smooth and well-made compared to the other games, which are a bit rough around the edges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for his next game, which will come out one day, Creeper World 4, which is going to be a 3D game instead of the top-down 2D perspective. So
Ooh.
obviously there's going to be much improved fluid physics.
Mm-hmm. Just looking at some of the artwork, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, DJ?
Before you asked, before I say my piece on what game I've been playing, I was going to say, Professor, how many nerdy beanies would you give the game out of?
We decided it was out of 5, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh, actually, no. In your case, it was out of 10 because you wanted to be against the grain.
I want to be different.
Yep.
Rise up.
It's because you're just big and fat like me. You just want it.
Okay, I'd give it 9 out of 10. The main flaw in it is that it's not as pretty as the 3D version.
Okay.
Oh, needs a bit more makeup.
Yeah.
Summer dress.
But I'll throw a copy of a link to the development videos for Creeper World 4 in the chat, the show notes. The fluid physics are really nice.
Okay.
Okay. The game I've been playing MTG Arena, and it's
Is
been
that a
fun.
dance thing?
No, it's Magic the Gathering Arena.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm an old fart. I don't know. When you use acronyms, I don't follow it. Not that I can't figure it out. It's just more of the fact that if you can't be bothered using words, I can't be bothered figuring it out.
But they call it MTG Arena. That's
Yeah, and they call you DJ, and that doesn't mean what they think it means, does it?
We're not allowed to say that what it means on air.
Yeah, I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena. It's quite different from actually from playing the card game in real life.
Really?
Yeah. For this, I think this time they're playing with a new set called the. Oh, let me just check.
In the
It's
meantime,
called
we'll take a quick
Eldraine.
Eldraine?
Yeah, give me a second.
In the meantime, we'll take a quick word from our sponsor.
It's called the Throne of Eldraine. It's a new card set's been out today, and so I've been playing a couple of matches with that set, and yeah, it's been fun.
So how does it differ from playing with actual cards?
Well, you get the special effects, and like it's like watching Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Like little monsters come to life, and watching the cards dissolve, and when dealing damage to different creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And when playing instants, for example, you get the automatic reactions. Like you don't see that in the real life game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
I find it very disappointing. I don't get to see animations jumping up and running across the table when I play with cards.
You see, that's what you got to do instead. You got to set up a battle arena, and then when you play a card, you deploy an animal into the arena and it fights. Like have a dogfighting ring, and then when you're like, I summon my dinosaur, you throw a crocodile in, and someone's like, I summon my guinea pig.
I think the Romans did something similar to that, but we're not having a dogfighting arena. No. Bad professor, naughty professor.
And we must remind our viewers that the opinions of the professor is his alone and does not represent the group itself.
Well, it doesn't have to have dogs in it. It's just a convenient term.
Well, we can just throw people in. It's more fun to watch them suffer.
The people are expensive.
Only if you pay them.
If we do it like the Viking times, with Tormund as the head judge, like Survivor, that'll be it. That'll be it.
No. We do it properly. I'll be the judge.
You be the judge. Oh.
Yeah.
You'll
Anyway,
be as tough as king.
do you have to? I remember with Magic the Gathering, with the cards, you had to get the land so you could tap it for the mana for casting ability.
Yeah.
Do you have to do that in this game?
Yeah, you have to do that as well.
So you actually have to get the lands, and you have to summon them, and then you have to have them there, and you have to tap them each time to cast a card.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. My biggest flaw with this game is sometimes when you're playing the game and automatically the game shuts down at random moments. Like I get that sometimes, and it just frustrates me. Like, I was in the middle of the game and this thing
So
happens.
it's a buggy mess.
Yeah, sometimes it's buggy, but it works. It works all around.
It wasn't because you were showing support for Hong Kong and you're being booted.
Thank God it's not
by our
Hearthstone.
friends in China who are they've got the great computers.
The bright side is at least Magic Gathering's not owned by Blizzard, thankfulully.
Give them time. It'll be them or Disney or Tencent.
Yes,
Actually,
does Tencent have a stake in Wizards of the Coast?
They've got it in everything else. There's over 400 companies, last I heard.
Who is it who makes Magic?
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, I thought so.
Merlin. The good witch Gwenda. Anyway.
It was actually the bad witch because she sent a child to go and do her dirty work for her.
I give this one... I give it 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Nerdy beanies?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I've been playing World of Warships this week, and I got to say, it is a lot of fun. You get different warships, you get experience points and so forth, and you get to unlock other various ships. You can go buy ships, but with actual real life currency, but you can earn credit through XP and so forth, and you can go buy and unlock different levels of ships as you go through. And you go do a quick battle where you sail around as part of a fleet with just various people and shoot each other until you sink each other's ships, which is actually quite funny when you have a nice big battleship and you go after your enemy's aircraft carrier and everybody else is off fighting somewhere else. Aircraft carriers don't really seem to have much firepower.
Yes, aircraft carriers by themselves are a little bit squishy.
Yes. Like the DJ.
Aw, thank you, Buck. I feel so wanted now.
Oh, no. So, yes.
So, I have a question, Buck. So, for this game, you can't fight like a modern aircraft carrier against like the Endeavour, for example.
No, you don't have sailing ships and clippers and so forth. It's steam powered or diesel powered or whatever, up through to fairly recent, predominantly early World War II, post World War II era ships. You're matched up against ships that are in the same class, so you're not going to be taking the Alaska and going out and battling against someone in a tiny, puny little first level. So you got 10 levels of ships, and I think the Alaska's 10th level. So you're not going to be taking a 10th level ship and battling against a level 1. Or even though you can upgrade your ships and in various ways with some of the components, but you can't get it up to the point where you'd be able to put up much of a scratch in the paintwork on one of those.
Okay.
But apparently they've also got submarines coming. I just got a notice come through earlier today as well. So at the moment, there's battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and aircraft carriers. But apparently they're going to have submarines in the near future, which would be interesting.
So what factions can you play in this one?
You can play as the English, the French, the Japanese, the Germans, European Alliance, Commonwealth. There's a few different groups. So yeah, and it's instead of just a basic capture the flag, it's dominate the area and sink all your enemies. Very few people go to just capture all the areas. You just go out and sink your enemies as much as you can.
What's your biggest flaw?
Sorry, what was that?
What's the biggest flaw in the game you've encountered?
There's not really any flaws. It's just a matter of getting used to it. Like each ship has varying capabilities and so forth. So the destroyers are essentially little sports cars. If for a simple comparison, where they can take off and fly and move really fast through the water. and are highly maneuverable, but they can't really take much of a beating. The cruisers are a little bit slower than the destroyers, and a little bit less maneuverable, but they can take a little bit more of a beating. The destroyers usually have torpedoes, whereas battleships generally don't. Some of the cruisers do, and then the battleships, they're just tough. You have your main guns and secondary guns, so you get a cruiser moving close to a cruiser. You're just doing constant damage to the cruiser. So, yeah, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 nerdy beanies. And the artwork is absolutely insanely beautiful.
Nice.
So, moving along to shout-outs this week. For all those truly cultured individuals, on the 5th of October, it was Monty Python's 50th birthday for the flying circus first aired on BBC One. And yes, anyone who knows me knows that I like to quote Monty Python at various times. So, yes. You think my jokes are old? Some of them are.
Bucky's not the son of Christ. He's just a bad, bad boy.
Only the DJ could get such a simple quote so badly.
Well, I'm just paraphrasing it just to avoid copyright, you know.
They're not going to come after us for that.
And you got to do it right. He's not the Messiah. He's just a very naughty boy. But yes. So moving along, on the 6th of October, unfortunately, Ginger Baker, the drummer and co-founder of the rock band Cream, which was also had Eric Clapton in it, passed away. He is sadly missed, and he was pretty awesome with some of his drumming style. On the 7th of October, the Soviet probe Luna 3, and this is in 1959, transmits the first ever photographs of the far side of the moon. For the Pink Floyd fans, no, it's not the dark side, it's the far side of the moon. To achieve this, the probe was equipped with a dual-lens 35mm camera, one at 200mm. We've got all the details in the show notes if you want to go and read them. It occurred when the craft was passing about 40,000 miles above the lunar surface. The radio-controlled Luna 3 was part of the Soviet Union's highly successful lunar program, which completed 20 missions to the moon between January 1959 and October 1970. Moving on to remembrances, on the 2nd of October 2019, John Kirby, American attorney, passed away. He was most notable for his successful defense for Nintendo against Universal City Studios over the copyright ability of the character of Donkey Kong in 1984, from which Nintendo subsequently named the character Kirby to honor him. Kirby was considered to have saved Nintendo during its early growth into video games in the American market. In thanks for aiding them, Nintendo gave Kirby a $30,000 sailboat, christened the Donkey Kong, along with exclusive worldwide rights to the use of the name for sailboats. He died from, myelodysplastic syndrome at the age of 79. On the 7th of October, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe, American writer, editor, and literary critic, came tapping at the door, and unfortunately didn't get in it and died. Yes, unfortunately, it's one of the sad things is apparently he died in the street. No, I can't see that in the show notes here.
I thought he died of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, he died of alcohol poisoning in the streets.
Unsolved mystery. He disappeared for a few days and turned up apparently very drunk and dying. And one of the theories I saw was he turned up in someone else's clothes, and it was just after an election. So one of the theories I saw was that he'd been kidnapped and used as a, I can't remember the word for it now, but voting multiple times in different areas. Because apparently that was the thing that would go on back then. They would kidnap someone, get them drunk, and then dress them up and send them to vote.
So
Okay.
basically, Edgar Allan Poe's last act was electoral fraud.
Yeah, but it was like he wasn't committing the fraud. He was pushed into it by whatever gang kidnapped him.
So, yes. Man wrote some amazing horror poetry and so forth, and mystery, but at least when he died, he did it with just as much mystery. On the 7th of October, 1939, Harvey Cushing, American neurosurgeon, pathologist, writer, and draftsman, a pioneer of brain surgery. He was one of the first exclusive neurosurgeons and the first person to describe Cushing's disease. I guess that's why they named it after him. He wrote a biography of William Osler in 3 volumes. So, in other words, he liked to speak a lot. Unfortunately, he died from a heart attack at the age of 70 in New Haven, Connecticut. On to famous birthdays. On the 7th of October, 1943, we have Austin Stoker, the Trinidadian American actor, known for his role as Lieutenant Ethan Bishop, the police officer in charge of the besieged Precinct 9, Division 13, in John Carpenter's Howard Hawks-inspired 1976 film, Assault on Precinct 13, which is an epic movie I can highly recommend.
Did you ever like the remake?
Yeah, it's not bad, but yeah, not as much fun as the original there. Yes. One of the interesting things here is that Austin Stoker was also most notable for his acting role in Battle for the Planet of the Apes, Horror High, and Airport 1975, among many others. He was born in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. On the 7th of October 1947, we have a person who's got one of the coolest names in history. Lightning Bear, the Native American stuntman, stunt coordinator, special effects artist, and just generally an amazingly cool sort of bloke because of the name, was born. He appeared in numerous amazing movies, including the Star Wars trilogies. He was one of the stormtroopers in the Return of the Jedi chase where they were on the speeders through the forest on the moon of Endor. He was also in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, among many others. He was born in Houston, Texas. Don't you wish you had a name like Lightning Bear?
Oh yeah, I liked his philosophy as well. In saying he was very lucky in life as industry it was his first love, and he likes the way it's been changing with new methods and technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a very good outlook in life.
Yep. On the 7th of October, 1885, Niels Henrik David Bohr, the Danish physicist who made foundational contributions to understanding atomic structure and quantum theory, for which he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1922. He was born in Copenhagen. So, yes, pretty cool sort of bloke there. Onto the events of interest. On the 6th of October, 2009, we have The Maze Runner. Not the movie, the book was first published. So, yeah, definitely a good read and worth looking into. On the 7th of October, 1856, Cyrus Chambers Jr. patents the folding machine that folds books and newspapers. So yeah, we got a bloke who helps us get our reading material. On the 7th of October, 1988, an Inupiaq Indian hunter, Roy Amagoak, discovered 3 grey whales trapped in pack ice in the Beaufort Sea near Point Barrow in the US state of Alaska. The situation becomes a multinational effort to free the whales. The whales' plight generated media attention that led to the collaboration of multiple governments and organizations to free them. The operation was called Operation Breakthrough, so it included icebreakers from the Soviet Union as well as from the United States. So, yeah, on the 7th of October 2011, Sanctuaries, the TV series. The final season 5 was aired.
No, it was 4th.
4 seasons, sorry. I was thinking Warehouse 13, that was 5 seasons. Which was the 64th most watched cable show in 2011 and was absolutely pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good. I didn't watch the entire series. I saw bits and pieces, and I liked the premise of it. To be honest, I wish I could grab the entire series and watch it on one hit.
Okay. While you're waiting for that, we can hit you. Just trying to be helpful here. So yeah, I think that's it for another week. We have our Facebook page. We have a group section in that. So yeah, we're not doing we have all the information on where you can find how to contact us on Twitter and our email address and everything. But come and find us at Nerds Amalgamated on Facebook. Have a look at some of the content we've got posted up on the page. Tell us what you like about the show, you don't like about the show, any recommendations, any questions. And yeah, have you guys got anything else to add?
I'd like to give a special shout out to My Songs Suck.
Okay.
Do they, DJ?
I'm going to give a special shout out to everyone. Everyone wants to be a dog. No, yeah, Floof and Papa, sorry. Everyone wants to be a cat. He almost
showed his secret allegiance to the cat faction.
I'm going to do a shout out to everyone wants to be a cat and the Floof and Papa. Especially since the professor's comment about dogfighting arenas, we need to show some love to our beautiful animal friends. So yeah, I guess that's it for another week. Remember to take care of each other, stay safe, and stay hydrated. Hooroo.
See you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.